So now we're going to look at jungling. It's important to notice when you're on this screen, if one of the enemies has this ability here, which is called the smite, this generally indicates that they're a jungler, or if they're a low level and they have it and they're not jungling, it generally means they don't have a clue what they're doing. Jungling allows generally whoever's in your top lane to have the lane to themselves. You'll need to work with your team to make sure that they are happy for you to jungle, because whoever's in this top lane is going to be on their own against two enemy champions. And they need to make sure they have both a champion and a build that can accommodate that. There's different ways to jungle. Generally in a player-based game, you would take the blue golem with the assistance of your team. It's important that someone helps you take him, but also that the other team are sat around this area as lookouts. Because generally as soon as the other team see that there's a jungler on the opposing team, they will try an early game ambush. They'll either sit in this bush here, this one here, and they'll just try and rush in and kill you while you're mid-fight. If you're on your own, 5v1, low health versus the golem, there's nothing you're going to do. They're going to get first blood, they're going to steal your buff, and they're going to get an early game advantage out of it. So because these are bots and they're not going to help me out with the golem buff, I'm going to start with a slightly different route. It's not an optimal route, but it's one that will work just to prove the point. Only certain characters are really built for doing this. Warwick's the
Minions have spawned.
the generally considered first one that's available to do it. He's quite a low IP count, but he's by no means the only one. Trundle, Nocturne, Nunu. There's countless champions that can do it.
Let's go.
So you see early on, took a Vampiric Scepter. This gives me some lifesteal as I hit things. This Trundle's passive allows me to regain health whenever a unit near him dies as well. So you can see my health staying fairly high. If you were a champion that wasn't built for jungling, this health bar would be considerably lower by now. As I say, this is by no means the optimal way to do it. It's just showing the general way that junglers work.
The tribe is waiting.
See, I'm having severe mana problems at the moment. That's because I didn't get the blue buff. If I'd got the blue buff, I could have spammed my abilities considerably more and would have been able to keep jungling a lot longer without having to go back.
Executed.
It's going to pick up a health potion while I'm back as well. In fact, I'll get two.
Let's show him my ugly side.
Now I'm going to get the blue buff myself. As a jungler, it's important to remember you've got to help your teammates around level 4 to 6. Depends on the champion and your team. You want to start looking to gank the enemies. So for example, if Shen here had Malphite low on health, I'd move up through here, either into these two, come out behind him and help go for a gank assist. For example, Shen there dies, I have to watch this lane. You don't want them pushing down the tower. So I should probably go cover that in a second once I got this buff. At least 10 defense.
You have slain an
See,
enemy.
bot's stupid. It just left me alone completely. I wouldn't have got away with that if that was the player. The general idea of jungling is I level off the mobs in the jungle. This guy gets a level advantage over the enemies up here,
Enemy has
which
been
hasn't
slain.
happened because he's died and it's just bots. So, that's jungling.